smoothly conducting this session, right? So, to give a quick introduction about micro degree, so micro degree is an education tech platform where we are aspiring to democratize technology and job ready skills in vernacular at an affordable pricing, right? So this is what we are doing. So currently what we have done at micro degree is we have launched a full-fledged JavaScript program, which is completely done in Kannada. So our idea is to do teach technology in local languages so that students are getting conceptual as well as foundational clarity, and to help them find right job opportunities. All this at the affordable pricing, right? So I have got the resource person Manikanta Nair with me. So Manikanta is also the co-founder and the content head at Micro Degree. To give a quick introduction, he has got 2+ years of work experience, and also he is a proud alumni of PA College of Engineering. He's a 2018 passed out, and yes, I believe he will take you through the sessions in terms of how we have planned the 5 days of workshop, the JavaScript workshop. So over to you, Mani. Feel free.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is Manikanta. Just will stop the sharing for time being now. Stop back here. Yeah. So happy to see more people out here. And thank you so much, Habib sir and Shaiz, for giving this an opportunity for me to just replicate what I have learned in front of aspiring minds to learn JavaScript. Okay, thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for Gaurav for your warm reception too. Yeah. So why are we here? That's one question, right? For what reason we are here? So we are here to learn JavaScript. So why to learn JavaScript? All these are the aspects which we are going to touch base, not an issue. But why are we learning this? It's one thing important which we are covering. Next thing, how we have divided this particular workshop, because as you know, we are under the critical circumstances of COVID, right? So once we are under that, there is no what can I say? There is no concept where we can come to college and teach, right? That's kind of a biggest challenge which we are facing right now. So in order to overcome that, we thought of having this online, right? And online is again a big challenge to have webinars for too long, right? So in order to cut short that, we have done this as a 5-day workshop. So every day we'll have an hour, and it might extend, right? It might extend on basis of what we are planning to do, right? So having said that, we are having a 5-day workshop or a 5-hour workshop, I can say, wherein we are teaching and touch basing basics of JavaScript, from where you can pick up JavaScript later on, right? Not only learning JavaScript, the basic here, we will be giving you with the materials, and we'll be helping you out, like how you can get, or how you can increase your knowledge from whatever knowledge you are learning from this particular workshop. So this is what we are going to do. So how this is divided, right? Basically, we all know that this is divided into 5 days, right? So first one will be day one, that is today. We'll be touch basing on why JavaScript we selected as a language and why is the reason behind we are doing it. And then how JavaScript works. Basically, before that, how web works, which is at most important to know it. And then how JavaScript works behind the scenes. Because I always felt that we want to know what's happening behind the scenes rather than what's happening in front of us. Because in front of us, we can only see very limited things, wherein behind the scenes, there is lots of things happening, right? So that is what we are going to discuss, and a touch basing on few basics of JavaScript today, and also what are the requirement you want to know, or if you want to learn JavaScript, one thing, and which are the companies which are using JavaScript, and why we are stressing on the fact, the importance of JavaScript. You might be JavaScript is still is not that relevant in India, I can say, but in European countries, almost all the companies are started using it. Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. So probably today is that particular initial phase where we are going through, and then I think probably we are going through with a hands-on on basics today, and tomorrow we are continuing with hands-on itself till the final day, that is day 5. On where we are touch basing on various uh, portions of JavaScript where a student has to know, and from where he can grasp or she can grasp something, and from there which they can continue. So that's a plan here. Today will be a bit of, I cannot say a theoretical session, but an interactive session where I would like to speak with you guys and try to understand what you know about it. And once I get the valuable feedbacks, or once we start interacting, we'll understand why we are using it, and then we are taking away with hands-on. We'll be using the systems here. We'll taking hands-on. Anyway, this thing is recorded, so never mind. You can take it anyways. So for the people who have not attended or couldn't attend, I request Habib sir and Shaiz to just throw this recorded video in front of them so that they can just have a look at it, and they can also learn what we are trying to do. Okay, this is what the brief introduction of what we are going to do. Yep, thank you, Shaiz. So first of all, guys, I want this to be much more interactive, right? Okay, this is not a tutor who is coming and sitting in front of you, and it's not like a radio where one side of things is happening, other side is just listening. No, all right. So we'll make it much more interactive. It will be fun. It will be fun. I love making courses which has lots of fun aspects or fun elements in that. So we won't be making it much more. What can I say? Much more in a gloomy way where I am speaking. I know that Habib sir will be against this, right, Habib sir? So we all are methodological teachers, right? But I am not that of kind, because I just want to make it much more realistic. Okay. So the first question: how many of you already know JavaScript here? Just a thumbs up, or just a chat message here and there, or just a direct voice message would be really good. How many of you know JavaScript here already, who has worked with JavaScript or know something about JavaScript? I can see a few people there. Please open up, guys. There's nothing here. We are all friends here, so you can just tell it out. How many of you know JavaScript? How many of you heard about it? How many of you know the language JavaScript, or how many of you are learning about it? You can speak up, or you can just chat. There's an option for chat here. You can just chat it out so that I can see. Right? Yep. Anyone? Feel free to interact to chat. Okay. So just wanted to know how many of you are familiar with JavaScript. No one? You're a beginner. Good. MM Company. What's your name, brother? MM Company. Excellent. Prajwal is the one who is learning. MM Company is also a beginner. Good. Fine. Expecting others also to just get in. Okay. So we are just doing it. So okay, everyone are a beginner, right? Everyone are a beginner, and everyone wants to learn what happens behind the scenes in JavaScript, right? So first of all, why do we want JavaScript? Right? That's a very casual questions which everyone asks, right? Why do we want JavaScript? But before getting into what is JavaScript, I'd like to know how many of you know what is web and how web works. You might be listening to this, right? World Wide Web, and you might be listening like, what is web development, or how web works behind the scenes, right? So if anyone can just tell me, just open your mic and just tell me how web works, that should be really good enough. Okay. So how web works. Anyone? It's fine. A theoretical explanation is also fine. I just want to know, like, how many of you know how exactly a web works. So we basically know that it's a communication, right? It's a communication between a client and a server, or two entities. Say myself and Gaurav. So we are communicating between each other only to understand that there is some information has been transferred from my end to Gaurav, and Gaurav is giving me back what I am required. Right? So basically, this is how web works behind the scenes. Basically, there will be a client and there will be a server. That means there will be two entities. So you make a request from a browser or a client machine, say my laptop, to a server. A server will be somewhere in Los Angeles, California. We never know. So everyone got into this particular Google Meet, right? Everyone got into this Google Meet. So how did you get in? Because Shai shared the link, right? That's why we clicked on that link and we got it here. No. So there is a mechanism happening behind the scenes. Basically, this is also a application. This is also a web application wherein you made a request to a Google server telling that hey server, I want to get into your page. I want you to, or I want me myself to get into your page. So that's how you made a request. But where did you make the request? That's the next question, right? Where did you make the request? So you clicked on this particular link. You clicked on this particular link. So when you clicked here, this is where you made a request to Google telling that, hey Google, let me in. And what did Google send you back? Google sent you back this black screen with names of other people who has already logged in. So that's what happened. You made a request. The request has been gone. That's how I'm asking something to Gaurav. Gaurav, hey Gaurav, I want to get inside this webinar. So I am making a request. That means the request is going, and request is going through something. We'll come back to that. It is hitting somewhere. That means Gaurav got my request and Gaurav gave me back something in terms of a black screen. And that black screen is what you are able to see in front of you. Right? You can see others' name also. You can see Shahan, Habib Sir, Aishat Sajna. You can see lots of names popping up. And that is because you made a request and you got something back. That's on a high level how web works, right? That's on a high level. Now, how this request is exactly moving forward? That's the next question. How this exactly, the request is moving forward. So whenever you're making a request to this particular URL, this is something called as URL. I hope you guys know it. This is the address to which we are making a request. I would say this is not the exact request, but this is the address to which, the domain name to which you are making a request. So from here, you're making a request. Your request goes through something called as internet service provider. Okay, the request passes through. When the request passes through, it goes through something called as internet service provider. And that service provider can be absolutely anyone. It can be Jio, right? At the same time, it can be Airtel. Any service provider you are using, it has to penetrate through that. Once it penetrates through that, it goes and touches something called as DNS. How many of you heard about what is DNS? Heard about it at least? I don't want the exact definition.
Yeah, domain name server. Domain name server.
Go ahead once again. Go ahead once again.
Domain name system or server, something like that.
Domain name system. Exactly. Fatima Rahana, very good. Domain name system. So if it's only that you have heard or you know something about it, if you know something about it, please chat it around. We'll discuss on those lines. So now everyone understood that we are making a request. We made a request to this particular URL somewhere in the browser, this somewhere in the server. We don't know where is it. We made a request and we got this page. That's what we know. We don't know how did we get this page. We still even don't know. That's what we are trying to solve. We want to know how did we get this page. So the first thing what you did was your request went. If I want, I can show it here. Your request went inside something called as DSP, inside something called as DNS. So I'm asking, what is this DNS? What is this DNS? And someone told it's domain name system. Exactly, it is domain name system. So what exactly it is? What does it contain? What does it contain? Right? That's the question. What does it contain? So you're making a request. So DNS is a place where you have, it's a directory, okay? It's a place where you have address of all the websites. Only think so much. There's a huge theory behind it. I just want you to think in such a way, when the request goes there, it will have, DNS will have list of all the addresses of the website. List of all the addresses of the website. So when the request comes to this particular DNS, DNS will check whether the incoming request is there inside that particular directory. Okay, incoming address is there inside that particular directory. If the address matches, then it will send that particular request to whatever server you are requesting for. Okay, once again, it will go here, it will check here, and then it will go to your server. From here, internet service provider, internet service provider, if your internet is not strong, it will reject here itself. That's why you tell that you want a internet, and from here it will go to here. Whatever address you have, it will check inside this DNS. Will have a list of all the addresses. It will check if there is a match, then it will check. It will send your request to a server. Is this thing clear? Is this thing clear for you? Give me a quick thumbs up if it is very clear to you, or if you have any doubts, please let me know. Everyone, just ping on yes or no, just to understand that you understood how our request works. Cool. Okay, so others can also just join in if you have not understood. Very good. Thank you. Who is that? Nufaya. I am very poor in reading. Okay, Rachel, very good. Okay, Afifa, thank you. So that means we got a request there. Now, next job of this particular server is to respond back with something, right? What will a server respond? I hope that everyone knows a client server architecture here. So what will a server respond? Or how will a server respond? That's an important question here. How will a server respond? Any idea? On what aspect will a server respond? We have been hearing this from long back, right? Request response, request and response. So what exactly is this response? Is this a phone call where server is telling, hey client, I don't have anything? So something like that. So what exactly is this response? Right? Understanding this is highly important, guys, before learning JavaScript, because you should be very particular about what are you going to learn here, because this is the important topic. You should know how web works behind the scenes, right? Any idea? No one knows how the response will be, on what format the response will be, what are the different ways in which you can see the response. Anyone? Shais, any idea? We use some protocol. Yeah, that's a fair enough question. So we use some protocol. So protocol is a method in which you are making a request. Okay, these are the paths in which you are making a request. So protocol is the bus, or protocol is the vehicle in which you are traveling from here to there. So that is where you are using something called as protocol, which you use as HTTP, right? You call it as HTTP, right? HTTP or HTTPS. So this is the way in which you are making a request. This is a bus in which you are traveling through till here. And these are the different stops you have to pass through if you are going inside a bus. If you're going here from here to Mangalore, you have to go through Tokkot, and if you have to go through again Pumpwell. So these are the different stops in which you have to pass through to reach State Bank. And this is from where you are going, and this is a bus. I am asking, from here, how do you return back? You mean just get into the same bus you came in, right? Just get into the same bus. You'll get back. No, that's not what's happening, right? That's not what's happening behind the scenes inside the web world. I'll show you an example. You go to you can see my screen, right? Gaurav? Screen is visible?
Yes, screen is visible.
Okay. So this is a page. So how did I make a request? I made www.google.com. I clicked on enter. Page is refreshing and I got this page. So I made a request to google.com. So when I make a request, I am making it to either HTTP or HTTPS. If I click here, right? 1 second. I made a request through HTTPS. So that means my first hurdle is done. And then it went to internet service provider. My internet service provider is very good. I'm using an internet service provider. It passed through it. It went to DNS. In DNS, you have an address called as google.com. Basically, what I mean with address is the IP, okay? Is the IP. Okay, so this is where I'm sending my request. So my this thing is passed. Then it went to the server. It went to the server and it gave me some page, what I have requested. Now, if I right click here, and if I go to inspect, okay? If I go to inspect, if I click here, Can you see some HTML here? Can you see some HTML? Guys, yes or no would work, because I cannot see whether you are chatting or not. I have been sharing the screen, so yes or no will definitely work here. So can you see some HTML here?
Yes, Mani, we can see.
Good. So we can see some HTML here, right? And if I click on this particular button and then inspect, can you see something called as Google search here? Google search. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Google search.
Yes.
And we have that same Google search here in terms of value. Now, if I edit it and write Manikanta and enter, can you see Manikanta here?
Yes, reflecting.
It is reflecting, right? So this is the response. What am I getting from the server? So this is the response. What am I getting from the server? And that is what I can see on the screen. That is what I can see on the screen. So you will get from the server back from here. You are only getting HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Only getting HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. See, I now changed the entire button to Manikanta. Okay. So now, if you go down, you have something called as styles here. You have something called as styles here, and that style is for your styling. Okay, you can change the styling here. And console is a place where you have your JavaScript running. Console is a place where you have JavaScript running. I'll come back to all those. So this is how web works. This is basically how now you saw a live example in which you made a request and you got, and you changed something in the response. So this is the response you are getting back from the server. This is the response what you're getting back from the server. So you're getting HTML, that is this structure of this. Then you're getting CSS. If you want a search form width, I can make it to 30%. Okay, so these are the different stylings what I can do here. Okay, and that is what it's reflecting, and this is where you are getting the script back. Okay, next question. In what language did Google build? Anyone knows? What is the core language of Google? Anyone knows? Anyone knows, guys? Come on. Throw up some answer. It can be wrong. Is it Golang now? I am asking the core language. When it was initially built, what was the core language it was built in? Throw some numbers, guys. Come on. You have C, you have C++, you have what can I say? Python, you have PHP, you have an enormous number of list of programming languages, right? What is Rehana? C++, exactly. So Google was built with C++, right? And who did reply there just now? I forgot the name.
It's Fatima.
Rehana, right? Fatima Rehana. Okay. So Fatima Rehana, is there any bit of C++ code here? Because we made a request to a server and we got the response back. Is there a bit? And you told that this server is been built with C++, right? You told that this server is built with C++. So when you are getting a response, is there anything in terms of C++? The response? No, exactly. There is no response. There is no response. So in the response, there is no bit of C++. In the response, you have only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And hence, all the languages which runs only on the server are called as server-side languages. Now, how many of you have heard about server-side language? The languages which runs only on the server, which will not reflect back onto the client. Getting my point? Understanding stuff? So a server will always return you HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and not the languages in which they have written. Not the languages in which they have written. Is this thing clear, guys? Clear? Any doubts? Guys, come on, make it much more interactive. It will be fun if you can speak up also. We'll have some interaction. Shaiz, is this clear? Amazing. So this is what we are trying to learn. This is what we are trying to learn. So we sent a request, we got the response, but we are not getting the language in which that particular website is built. And why? Because those languages only run on the server and not on the browser. In browser, only these three things will run. That is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You have seen a live example of it. Next, everyone knows what is an HTML, everyone knows what is CSS, and most of you are a beginner in JavaScript, right? So now it is running in browser, right? It is running in browser, right? So what can we do with JavaScript? Any idea? Any idea what can we do with JavaScript? Why JavaScript was used for, or why is it using still now? Any idea on that? Build website, excellent. Faizan, good. Web. We can build a website with Python also, right? Can't we? Can't we build a website with PHP? Can't we build Python with C programming? Yeah. What's his? Yes, we can build, right? So why JavaScript is used? Can we build website only with JavaScript? Any idea? Can we build website only with JavaScript? Okay, can we build website with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript itself without any server-side language? Can we build a website? Yes, we can, right? Perfect. If we can build a website in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, why there is a requirement of a server-side language like Python, PHP, Java, C#, C++, C, Ruby? Why is there a requirement of a server-side language if you can build websites in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? What is the requirement of server-side language then? Getting my point? You guys told that we can build website in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then what is the requirement of having a server-side language there? Like we made a request to the Google and we got something, and someone from you itself told that it is written in C++. If we can write that in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which we got already, then why is there a requirement of C++? That's the next question. Guys, I'm reaching to a point where I want to tell you what is JavaScript. I'm reaching there. I'm reaching to that particular point. Someone has messaged here. Background processing, excellent. We can't do server-side programming using HTML. It's just scripting language. What is PHP then? Is PHP a scripting language? Just wanted to know. Basically, why do you want a server? Why do you want a server? Why do you want this particular server? Why are we making request for? We'll go that. This is interesting now. Why do you want to store data? Okay, to store data. Any other answer to contradict with Shai's? Any other answers? Why do we want a server? Why do we want a C++ server for Google? John Joseph. Hey John, hi man. Load balancing, excellent. Okay. Processing a database. Okay. Can we use? Can't we store data inside a browser? Can't we use Tom? Yeah, no. So can't we store a data inside a browser? Can we store or can't we store? A few data. Okay, interesting. Example, cookies. Only cookies. So we want a server to store data and a browser to render that data. Is that clear? We can store data inside a browser. Okay, we definitely can store data inside a browser. There is no problem in storing, but there is a problem in storing, I'll say. Because all the confidential data, if you store inside the browser, it is very easy to get that particular data from the browser, right? How many of you know there is something called as local storage inside a browser? There is something called as local storage wherein you store the data, you can directly access it from the browser. How many of you know there is something called as local storage? Anyone? So, due to the security aspects and also due to load balancing, to balance your loads in terms of client and server, we use servers. Okay, and a huge amount of data we cannot store it directly inside, though we can store directly inside the browser. It is very transparent to that end users. It is very transparent to the end users. You can directly inspect and take all the data from the browser. For example, if I go here and if I click on inspect and if I go to applications and if I click on this, okay, see, this is how you store the data inside the browser. Okay, so this is local storage, this is session storage. Okay, this is session storage, and you have something called as cookies. Okay, local storage, the difference between local storage and the session storage is that both stores the data in the same way, but once you log out or once you come out or once you close this particular application, data will be erased from session storage. But when you are inside the local storage, data won't be deleted unless and until you delete it. Okay, unless and until you delete it, data won't be deleted. This is probably the data which I stored here when I was recording a video on local storage for my course. There is a JavaScript course of us. So when I was recording that, this is when I inserted this data inside the local storage, but still the data here. Okay, still there is a data here. We have an array of strings here. Okay, so the data is still here, which I was done long back ago. Okay, but still if I refresh also, this data will exist here. But if it was in session storage, when I click on this close button and come out of this website, the data will be gone. So that's the difference between local storage and session storage. You can store data here, but it is easy for people to access the data. So that's why you have something called as a server. Server does most of your works there. Okay, server does most of your works there. Is this thing clear? Again, so why do we want a server? And one more good reason what Shai has given is that for all the database interaction, it is best to have a server in between, right? All the database interaction for your CRUD operations, for your any kind of operation which wants data to be stored in a secured place, right? We do require a server. Is this thing clear, guys? Is this thing clear? Yes or no? Just give me a thumbs up if it is clear, very much clear. Yes. So it's clear only for 3 guys, or others are waiting for others to text. Yes, thank you so much. So we are coming to the topic of JavaScript now, right? We understood that there is something running inside the server, and there is something running inside your HTML, or we can just quote it down. So the languages which we write here are PHP, Python, C#. There is a geek here called as John, who is a king of Python. Right, John? So now, next thing is, we have JavaScript, and that runs inside a browser, right? That runs inside a browser. So these are the languages which are the technologies which runs inside a browser. Is something which runs inside a server. The next important question is, can I run this JavaScript inside the server? Next question is, can I run this inside the server? How many of you tell yes, and how many of you tell no, and how many of you tell I don't know? That's none of my business, right? So can I run my JavaScript inside the server? Can I run my JavaScript inside the server? Next question. Can I? Anyone? Yes. Yes. One answer I have received. Yes. Others? Don't know or no or yes. Good, good, Prajwal. We are here to learn that. Who was that? Munawir, right? Who told that there is this? Yeah. Yes. You can run JavaScript inside the browser. Now you guys will be telling here. You are telling that it can be only run inside the browser. Then how you can run this inside the server? Because you have server-side languages. These are called as client-side languages. Then how on earth can you put this JavaScript inside the server? That's a very valid question, right? It's a very valid question. Sir, no, that's a very valid question and everyone has to ask it. Since you told that that runs inside the browser, we all know that where JavaScript runs here. This is a place where JavaScript runs. Okay, inside the console. This is the place where JavaScript runs. Since I'm telling it's running here, then how can you tell that it is running inside the server? Pretty valid, right? Pretty valid. Yes or no? But I'm still telling that you can run it inside the server. Munawir knows why it can be run inside the server. Any idea? No? So next is, how many of you have heard something called as Node.js here? Node.js, or only heard about Node.js? What is Node.js? Or work with Node.js? Or knows what happens behind Node.js? How many of you know what is Node.js? No one? Didn't hear about Node.js? One of the trending technologies right now. Didn't hear about it? No? Shais did not hear about it? Good. Shais is replying. Heard about it? Good. Others did not hear about. It's not a framework exactly, but I'll tell you. Okay? Okay. So, very simple answer for what is Node.js. JavaScript which runs on the server is called as Node.js. Okay, very simple answer. JavaScript which runs on the server is called as Node.js. Okay, clear? So whatever JavaScript it is there, whatever JavaScript is running inside the server is called as Node.js. So now you can ask how Node.js came into existence, right? How Node.js came into existence. Till 2009, guys, this is a very funny story and this is very interesting story, to be honest. Till 2009, JavaScript was only a technology, a scripting technology which was used only to run on the browser, only to change something here and there. For example, when I click on this button, I want a drop down, or when I click on this button, I want some form to come. Okay. So whenever I'm clicking, a form will come. So only for that particular reasons you were using it. There is no server side. There was no database connection. There was no server side logic written there. But in the year 2009, a person by name Ryan Dahl. Okay, Ryan Dahl is a person who invented or who discovered. I mean, discovered will be a very kind of a sluggish name, I can say. Who built something called as Node.js. And how did he do that? It's a very funny story again. And he took a C++ program. He took a C++ program and he embedded that with something called as JS engine. Okay, I'll come back to what is JS engine. Is equal to Node.js. Okay, so guys, for your information, Node.js was built with C++ and not with JavaScript. Remember this. It's an interview question. People ask you to just get it out. Node.js is called as JavaScript runtime, not a framework. JavaScript runtime. It's a JavaScript runtime where JavaScript runs on the server. But this Node.js is built with something called as a language called as C++ and not JavaScript. And what the hell is this JS engine? What the hell is this JS engine is the next question. So you understood JavaScript which runs on the server is called as Node.js, and Node.js, as the name itself suggests, Node JavaScript, it doesn't have something called as, it is built with something called as C++ and not JavaScript. Okay. So the next question is, everyone knows JavaScript runs on the browser, right? And Node.js on the server. But where in browser? Everyone knows it runs inside the browser, but in which portion of the browser does it runs is a very peculiar question again, right? Every browser will have something called as JavaScript engine. My browser has, Gaurav's browser has, and all the 18 people who are gathered here, everyone's browser will have something called as JavaScript engine. We don't know where it is. There, it is there. It is there inside every browser. And Google Chrome, everyone are using Google Chrome. Some are using something called as Firefox, Safari, Opera. You have a number of browsers, right? And you have IE, you have Edge also. So what I want to tell is, every browser will have something called as JavaScript engine inside it. Okay. So what this JavaScript engine will do is, so what did Ryan Dahl do is, he took this particular C++ program and he embedded that with JavaScript engine inside the browser to get something called as Node.js. So with the power of C++, it is running inside the server, and that is called as JavaScript runtime. Okay. So Google Chrome's engine is something called as V8. V8 is the engine. Okay. So V8 is the JavaScript engine inside Google Chrome. Guys, this is important to understand, okay? Or else you will not understand how Node.js came into existence. I just want to tell you one thing here. And SpiderMonkey is the JS engine inside Firefox. Every browser will have a engine, JS engine, and for Google Chrome we have something called as V8, and for Firefox we have something called as SpiderMonkey. So these are the engines which will be there inside the browser. That's it. That's the only thing which you have to understand. And how Node.js came into existence. So C++ embedded with JavaScript, and it will got Node.js. So now after that, after Node.js came into existence, the JavaScript is the only language which runs independently both on the browser and also on the server. So it is the only language which runs on the server as a Node.js and on the browser as pure vanilla JavaScript. So that's why we have JavaScript as one of the finest and the better language in the world. And that's why most of the companies are moving into JavaScript. And that's why you have lots of job opportunities for JavaScript. And that's why most of the big companies like Netflix, Facebook, Amazon are using JavaScript as their one of the languages, or using React.js. So React, Angular, Vue, all these are libraries and frameworks of JavaScript. Node.js is a runtime of JavaScript. So without knowing JavaScript, you cannot learn all these technologies. How many of you have heard about React.js? It's a huge buzzing word in the market, to be honest. And you have lots of scope with React.js. Okay. How many of you have heard about React.js? What it is exactly? React.js. Heard about it? Shaiz? Prajwal, heard about it? React.js? Exactly. So most of the companies are moving for React.js because that is one of the super cool library of JavaScript which you can use. But without learning JavaScript, you cannot learn React.js because that is completely built with JavaScript. So guys, this is the importance of JavaScript. It is the language which supports both front end and back end. And if you know JavaScript, you can be a front end, back end, so-called full stack developer. And it has high opportunities. Very high opportunities. Being very honest with you, very high opportunities as a job. If you learn JavaScript, people are really in need of JavaScript developers. Okay. So guys, understood about JavaScript, first of all, how web works and how JavaScript works and how JavaScript is important. Clear about it? Any doubts? Any doubts? Is this thing clear? Respond. Is this thing clear? Fair enough. So I would highly recommend you guys learning JavaScript. Okay. So we'll touch base on that particular aspect, and we'll try to get in touch with few of the technologies here. So now this is about JavaScript in a brief, behind the scenes, how it works. Now we'll just get into hands-on and we'll start with some basics that we'll stop it for today. And from tomorrow onwards, it will be only hands-on. There won't be a shitty theory like this, but this theory was very helpful for you to understand what's happening. And that is hugely important, because without this knowledge, getting in is very, like, you should understand why you are learning something before learning it. What is the reason behind I'm learning something? I won't say you don't learn PHP. I cannot say, I don't have any rights to tell that, because PHP is supremely popular. But when it comes to both client and server side practices, right? I think including the job opportunities, including the opportunities you get in terms of a freelancer or anything, you will be paid really high if you take up JavaScript frameworks. Those are high in demand development equipments, I can say. Okay, so have a knowledge about that. So we will get started with here. So I hope that only 5 hours will not do anything, but I'll try my level best to put something on your head so that you can take up some other courses also. So we have our own course, JavaScript course, where we have content for almost 25 hours. We have content for almost 6 hours. We have 2 different courses. So one is absolutely free. You can take it up any day. You can log in today and you can watch that videos. It's in Kannada, but we have it for 6 hours, and we have almost 50 YouTube videos and almost 40 JavaScript related YouTube videos in YouTube. Okay, you can go through that. Even MicroDegree will help you to reach out there. Okay, so we'll get started with guys. Guys, any doubts here? Any doubts? You want to ask some questions regarding this? Any questions? Any questions are welcome.
Yeah. So, Shaiz, I guess we can open up for question and answers for next 5 minutes, and the participants can feel free to ask questions. I mean, instead of pinging, they feel free to ask the questions through to the mic.
Any questions with whatever we have spoken, or any questions with JavaScript is absolutely welcome. I will be extremely happy to answer you. So we'll have some quick 5 minutes for question and answers, and then if possible, we'll work out on something, and then we'll take it for tomorrow. So any questions, guys? Please do me. Let me ask anything. Be absolutely anything. Being on any language, it's fine. Yes, you can turn on your mic. It's fine, and you can put it inside the chat also. That is also fine. But I would say a face-to-face kind of interaction would be much more better. Anyone? You can get started with size. So no questions. We are good to go then. Okay, Shaiz and Habib sir, would you want me to continue with a bit of hands-on, or we'll call it for the day? How you want, we can do it.
I think it's enough. I think
it's fine. It's enough. Yeah.
We have it's enough for today. We can start it with tomorrow, because we will be putting this today's your introduction video in the group.
Okay.
Let's see what more participants, if they are joining from tomorrow.
Sure. Not an issue. So
that's why, yeah. So I think today this much is sufficient time.
Okay, fair enough. So Gaurav, anything you want to pitch in?
Fair enough, I guess. So fair enough.
One more thing, Manikanta. I think I can see many electronics people. I think
Oh, fine.
so. That can bend. I think that Fatima Rahana and all are electronics. Is it not?
Yeah, it's fine, sir. Because
Yeah. So
since we are doing a hands-on from
that-
tomorrow, right? I think that I have to go from absolute
Yeah.
scratch, and I am going it from absolute scratch. It's okay if I'm taking time
Yeah.
also, but at the end of the day, there should be some takeaway. But definitely, we are going it from scratch.
Yeah.
I hope that today's session was helpful for everyone, because for the people
Yeah.
who already knew it, I know this was a bit of theory, but I always felt that you should have some knowledge on that aspect and then continue with whatever we want to code. Okay, so I hope this session was helpful for you. Yeah.
Yeah, we provided
Thank you,
the
Madam.
attendance link.
Thank you, Gaurav.
So please go and submit your attendance. Otherwise, you won't be getting the certificate.
Guys, one more thing which I want to tell, there will be certificate for this particular whatever workshops you have done, which will be of highest value. Let me tell you, because most of our micro degree guys are getting placed also. So we are conducting lots of webinars like this. So I request everyone to be present for all the five days, where you have lots of value here. It's a lots of efforts going behind the scenes to prepare the content also. So have fun, learn something new, and put it in your resume. Have that certificate, and we'll see how it goes. And from tomorrow onwards, we won't be having any theory. It will be all hands-on. We will be all working. It will be recorded. You will be having that. You can watch it. You can watch many times. And we are also happy to share that we have our own 2 courses. One is absolutely free. I request Shai to share the link of our website in the group, so that
Yeah, sure.
so that they can have some knowledge from that right away. Okay.
And please give your attendance there in the link provided. All the members.
Yeah. Okay then. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not your sir. I'm just your senior. Okay. So have fun, guys. Yeah, Gaurav, anything you want to just?
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this session, Manikanta. And thank you, sir. Thank you, Shais. And look forward to meeting you all for tomorrow's day 2 session at 3 p.m. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Stay safe, and bye-bye. See you tomorrow. We'll be having some fun tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Habib sir. Again, can't thank you enough for
Thank
this wonderful opportunity, and thank you, Shais, for having a wonderful cooperation. Thank you so much. See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Manikanta and micro degree team. Thank you.
Thank you.